Hi there, I'm Todd. I bought the Spark Edge to go busking. It's been great for that. Now I want a loop. The built-in looper just doesn't have enough features to do what I need. Since the Edge and the Spark Live have MIDI over USB, I came up with a solution. I wanted everything hardwired, so I wouldn't have any latency while looping. The solution requires a USB-C iPad or a Lightning iPad with a camera adapter, some USB-C cables, a USB-C powered hub, and the M-VAVE chocolate foot controller. It's $40. All in for me was $96. I'll link everything that I bought in the description. I want this video to be as complete as possible. When I started looking for solutions, I had to go to many different places, and they were always 90% complete, but still leaving me with a couple questions. So I'll show you how it all connects, how to configure the chocolate, version 1 of my Loopy Pro template, which you'll be able to download. And finally, I'll create a simple template from scratch so you can see how it all gets built and how it all works. So here we go. Okay, let's talk about the connections. So what we need is an iPad running Loopy Pro, which you can get in the Apple iStore. It does not run on Android. We need a USB-C hub. That USB-C hub needs to be powered. So I'll have a USB-C cable going out to a power source. And down here, you'll need at least 2 ports. Usually you'll find a 4-port. One port will plug into the M-VAVE chocolate, which is a 4-button controller. The other port will plug into the back of your Spark, Edge, or Live. And that's it. Again, if you have a Lightning iPad, then you'll also need the dongle that plugs into Lightning and allows you to plug a USB cable out into a hub. Before we physically connect all the devices, we have to configure the M-VAVE chocolate. So the first thing we need to do is turn it on. It charges and lasts about 12 hours on a charge. But since we're going to plug it into a USB-C powered hub, we won't have to worry about that. Out of the box, you're going to have a 1A, which stands for the program that it's running. So you go out to Apple Store, download Cube Suite. And with Cube Suite, we can connect to the device. But before we do that, we have to connect it to Bluetooth. It already is. Foot control, connected. Scan for nearby devices, and there it is. So click on the device, scroll down to manufacturer control, and that's it. It will then show CU, and it's ready to be used. Okay, let's make those physical connections. First thing we have is the USB-C powered hub. It has power on one side and 4 ports on the other. So we'll plug that into the iPad or into your camera adapter if you're using a Lightning iPad. We'll plug the power into the port by itself. Now my iPad is powered. It'll also power the M-VAVE chocolate. Pick any other port on the other side. Plug it into USB-C on the M-VAVE. Done. Put that cable out of the way. One more cable. Plug in and plug it into the USB-C audio/data port on the back of the Spark Edge and the Spark Live. To get the template that I uploaded, you'll click the link. It'll take you to a Google Drive. And you will be able to select the file. You can't preview it, of course, because it doesn't know how to open a Loopy Pro project file. We'll download it. And once it's downloaded, we can open it in Loopy Pro. Okay, this is the project, but right now we have opened it out of our downloads folder. So in Loopy Pro, you have a project list, which is up here on this folder icon, and then projects is the bottom option. When I click projects, it's not there, even though I just opened it. Because it's in our downloads, we haven't made it one of our projects yet. So the best way to do that is click duplicate project. It's duplicated it. Now if we look in the project list, it's there. It'll always be there. We can change it. We can do whatever we want. This portion with the kick and snare, hi-hats, and the tap tempo, I stole, borrowed, sampled from a guy named Max Yar. I will also link his YouTube channel in the description. There's going to be a lot of links down there, I think. He's awesome. You can learn a lot from him. Let's start with the top section. Everything above the blue and purple, fuchsia, pink, whatever, loops, or clips as they call them, or donuts as some people call them. Up here we have Spark Master Volume, Spark Channel 1 Volume, Channel 2 Volume, and Channel 3 and 4 Volume. Now, right now they're all the way down, but I'm using a microphone hooked up to the Spark right now and you can hear me. So they're not all the way down. The USB cannot read the current state of your Spark, but you can sure set it. For instance, channel 3 and 4. Oh, that won't matter because it won't do anything. If I slide it up, I just change the volume. There's nothing plugged into it. But I am on channel 2 on my mic. So let's take that volume and move it. And you're going to hear my voice drop when it's low, and then we'll rise it. So I'm talking, and it's getting louder and louder and louder and louder until it's too loud, and we drop it back down to a reasonable volume. So now we've set it. Before that, it was just whatever it was on the app. Same thing with guitar, right? Same thing with the master. That's all the way up. This is way down. This is somewhere reasonable. So you can control your volumes right here without having to open the Spark app, which is kind of nice because it's always there. And it's, you MIDI over USB, the same thing that your audio is traveling over. So if it's not there, you have bigger problems. Here is the channel 1, 8 presets, 4 red, 4 green, channel 2, 4 red, 4 green. Right? So if I tap this, it moves. And you may be able to see on my amp, channel 1 just changed to number 2. Number 3, number 4, now it's green 1, green 2, green 3, green 4, and back to red 1. We can do the same thing for the microphone channel. My voice is going to sound weird though, so hang on to your hats, I guess. That's red 1, red 2, red 3, red 4, red 5. No, there is no red 5. How about green 1, green 2, green 3, green 4, and back to red 1, which is normally my lead echo, but I have the echo off. Okay, drive is the same thing. So red 1, I happen to know on channel 1, red 1 has the drive on by default, but this isn't lit up green. So it's the same thing as the volume. I have to hit it once. I guarantee you the drive's on now because I just sent an on to it. Now I've sent an off. The drive is definitely off on red 1 now. And I happen to know that red 2, oh, by the way, you can, instead of tapping this, you can just drag it like a dial. Red 2, I know it's off by default, but that's not why it's off. It's just because that's the default, right? That was where I had it. Now I guarantee it's on. But just because I drag this up here to a new preset, just because that's green on a preset that I just hit, there's no way to know. You kind of have to, hit it once or twice to know where you are, whether it's off now or on. All right, so we're back to red 1. And we know that it changed it because right now we're on red 4. Sorry, checking to see if you can see that light. We're on red 4, and if I tap this, the light's flashing. I just changed that preset because I turned the drive off. So there's that. You can control the channels. You can mute the whole spark. You can bring the spark back. You can toggle the drive. These, I accidentally hit it. These two are controlled by the Footswitch, and we'll go over all that in just a minute. So I'm going to take a break. I'll come back and we'll do another video where we actually start this with tap tempo to set the clock, because right now nothing will play. There's no clock. There's no tempo set. So we'll use tap tempo to set our tempo. That'll start a kick and snare, and a hi-hat we can turn on, and then loops that we can use, 5 of them, and undo them and clear them and build them back however many times we want. There are other ways to do it where you can just loop over the same thing indefinitely. This one isn't set up that way, but the one that we'll create later will allow you to loop to your heart's content, and you can take the two and combine them into one project if you like. Anyhow, I'll be back. Talk to you later. Okay, I'm back. Let's play with the tap tempo and how that works before I pick up my guitar and mangle some loops. And we'll also go over the button use before we start. So tap tempo. Button D, push, is tap tempo. So I can do it on the screen. 1, 2, 3. And we just set a tap tempo of 91 beats per minute. And you hear the kick and snare going. Again, stolen from Max Yar. And if I tap the hi-hats, they come in. Tap them again, and they'll go out at the top of the bar. Great. If I want to stop everything and start over, reset. Reset is also button D, hold down. We just reset. The tempo's gone, nothing works anymore. Our spark control still works, right? I can still mess with the volume or do whatever I want to do. But we're not going to be looping anything or sending anything out. So let's set a tap tempo once more. 1, 2, 3. So we have our kick and snare going. We can also tap the kick and snare and turn it off, right? It's gone. Now you're flying blind. So it's helpful to have something. Right? Top of the bar again. I turn that off and turn that on, and at the same time that stopped and that started, because that's where the quantization is. Okay, so this dot right here says that this loop is selected. It will always be the first one selected on this template. You can select any one of them, but you should always start there, because as you record one loop, it's going to automatically move to the next, so you can layer across. But if I wanted to select a different one, swiping left on any one of these, let me use the stylus, will select whichever one you swipe left on. Oops, I actually hit that one to record it. So right now I'm recording my voice. I'm actually going to stop it and swipe left over here. All right, so this is where it'll be by default. You normally won't be selecting those. At least that's not the way this template is designed. That's the beauty of Loopy Pro. You can design it however you want. So before we all go mad from the kick and snare, let's record something. My guitar is not in my hand, so I'm going to use my voice. And if you've never looped before, sometimes it can be helpful to just for the first loop, say 1, 2, 3, 4. So as our playhead comes around past the top, I'm going to start, which record, play, stop, which is also the first button. That's all the first button does, is record, play, stop. So it's going to go past the top. I'm going to hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, That's 3, really loud 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's also this start, stop, start, all. So stop, start, all is button B, and I'm going to give you a template that shows you what exactly the buttons do for this particular template. So if you hold down this button B,
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
If I hold it down again, it stopped. So that's button B for holding down. Now, in order to change the volume of a loop, this is the mixer. Down here in the corner, you'll see a little icon that has 3 lines with dots, and it brings up your mixer, which is great because it shows my input, right? I'm bringing 1 and 2 in from the Spark, and again, 1 and 2 are the same thing on both channels. It shows me my Lime loops, which are here. You can see my bar is pretty high. If I lower that bar, it will lower the volume for all of those. Maybe my microphone is just too hot, right? The blue one is the kick and snare. I can change all of blue, which in this case is just 1. And, it's magenta, not fuchsia, pink, or purple. Magenta, I can adjust that for the hi-hats. Or, if we wanted to do it more live, we have this little button right over here on the left. It looks like a donut that has lines in it. And right here, I can see the volume, so I can drop this one down. Right? And it will stay there if I leave it there, but it makes it harder to see the waveforms. So we're going to turn that back off. And we're going to start and stop all again, which again, I can hold down B.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
That's a little better, but let's just turn it down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So now we've dropped all of Lime down a little bit.
2, 3,
now,
4,
if that's annoying and I want to get rid of it, I have previous and clear. Previous is a push on button B. You'll see this dot move back there. The dot moved back. And now if I push C, which is clear.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sorry, it's actually a hold down. A hold down on
3, 4,
on B is clear, I believe.
4.
No. It's a double tap. Wow. Let me start the whole thing again.
1, 2.
It's a double tap on B. So 1 tap is previous, and again, this will be in a chart. I should have the chart now in front of me. Double click, cleared that. So now I'm back to just the kick and snare running, which I can stop even though the clock is still running. Nothing's playing, right? And even if I start and stop all, which we said was holding down B, right? So play, stop, record, one press on A, or tap. 1 press on B is previous. 2 taps on B is clear. Holding down is stop and start. So if I hold down, it actually brought in the kick and snare. If I hold down again, everything stops. So that's that one. We already know that this one's tap tempo, touching it, right? Let's do it again. Let's reset it by holding down D. It's reset. Our tap tempo is gone. And let's go 1, 2, 3. Now we're doing 101 beats per minute. So the only thing that we don't have so far is holding down C, or pushing C. Turns on your drive. We just saw that a minute ago when I screwed up. Pushing it again turns it off. And holding it down mutes the spark. So that's it. Those are all the buttons, but I will put them in a chart along with what the CC number, which is the control number is for each one of these buttons. It just happens to be 20, 21, 22, and 23. But that'll become more obvious when we build a template from nothing later. It'll be much simpler than this. We'll add the drive, maybe 1 or 2 channels. Guitar volume might be nice. And we'll have 1 loop. No drums, no hi-hat to drive us nuts. So let's stop this for just a minute. Okay, let me grab my guitar and we'll do a little more. All right, so I have my guitar. Now we can actually hear the drive going on and off, right? Right now we're on red 1. The drive's on now. The drive's off, right? So that works. Let's kick it up to red 2. I don't know what that sounds like. Yeah, that's okay. I'm not a professional guitarist or even a good guitarist, but by God, I have fun. Let's set tap tempo again. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, normally this would be at my feet. Kind of hard to play guitar with 2 hands and push this button. Obviously, I can push the button right after it gets past the top, and it gives me a couple beats, to figure out what the heck I'm going to do. So let's just put some crap in there. It doesn't really matter what it sounds like, and we'll fill up some of these donuts and see what we get. So it's coming past. Now see, that's kind of quiet compared to my voice. We did turn down this line channel. That's a little better. So now we have that, and we see that it automatically, when I recorded that, queued up the next loop, right? So let me see, try to figure out what I'm going to play here. That'll work. All right, so... Oh, I missed it. Aha, see that? This is why... Oh, and I missed it. Aha, see that? So let's bring the dot back here. Aha, see that? And clear it. Now that's the problem with the Spark not giving you separate channels out. If you're singing or I'm talking, it's going to screw it up. So here we go. Try it again. Oops, flubbed up again. So right now I'm still on this one. The dot hasn't moved. So let's just clear it. And now it moved it automatically. We'll go back to where we needed to be. And you'll notice that the record on this isn't waiting for the top. It's just whenever I push it. So it's kind of hard to do it with your hands, but we'll try it anyways. Oh, that's really bad. That's okay. Anyhow, we get the idea. If I recorded this one, and I don't like this one here very much. So if I tap it, it stops. Right? Now if I want to clear that, previous, clear. Right? There's another way to clear. So let's put something in there real quick. It can be my voice, it doesn't matter. Record. If I swipe down on it, I can just push clear. Again, the idea is to be able to do it with your pedal, not with your hands. Because your hands are going to be busy with the guitar, mangling it like I did. All right, I have to put myself out of my misery here. Wow. You can also do a stop and then a start, right? If you're you have a break in the song, it'll break out and you can bring it right back. So again, it's up at the top of the beat though. So that's the Spark Looper V1. It's not perfect, obviously, but it's to give you a jumping off point and show you what can be done so that you can make it your own or not. Or just play with it and have fun. That's what it's all about anyways. We'll come back in just a minute and I will build or try to build a template from scratch so that you understand how are these MIDI, how is this toggle drive command being sent? How is that MIDI command sent? How do the loops work? How is this previous button even moving this? It's not that difficult. And we'll get to it real quick. So talk to you in a minute. Okay, now let's make our own project. One that doesn't have just 5 loops, and one that doesn't have buttons that are confusing and even confused the creator. So to create a new project in Loopy Pro, we click the folder at the top and click New Project. New project will always look like this in Loopy Pro, but we can just go in and remove the stuff we don't need. So we'll click the pencil, select all these clips, see you later, select all these clips, bye-bye, and select this one, gone. Now we're left with one clip. If we go into the mixer, we will see that all those other colors in the mixer are still there. So we can hold down on the orange and get rid of it, the yellow, get rid of it, the blue, bye-bye, and the magenta. Okay, now we have a simple mixer with just lime. And we have one loop. So let's edit it and add some buttons because it's no good without control. So the button that we need is widget. It's right here. Let's add 3 of them. And drag them down, resize this one, and drag these 2 below it. Now I'm going to grab all 3 of those, copy them, and paste them. So what we know we have is a foot controller that has 4 buttons, A, B, C, and D. So the idea here is that each one of those buttons has a tap, a double tap, and a hold. Tap, double tap, hold on button A. Tap, double tap, hold on button B, etc. So now, as soon as we open this, we know how our foot controller works because the buttons are laid out in a way that makes sense to the controller. So let's start by setting up the record, play, stop button, which will be this one. So we'll click it. We'll give it a name. Record, play, stop. We'll click the gear and change its font. 20 is usually pretty good. And we'll change its color to lime. It doesn't matter. The color can be anything you want. We'll set a press action on it of play, stop, and set the target to the selected clip. And we will see that it will record if empty, which is exactly what we want. So now we have that. Let's also add a clear button here. Give it a name. Clear. Set the font. Change the color. Doesn't matter. You could leave it plain if you wanted. Press. Clear clip. Target. Selected clip. Okay, now we have a clear button. Now, we don't have a selected clip. If we exit out of this, these buttons aren't going to do anything. That does nothing because this clip isn't selected. So we need to give it a way to select clips. So let's click on the clip, scroll down, and go to Gestures, and go down to Swipe Left, select this clip. Now, if I swipe left on this, it's selected. And I can now play and record. Test, test, test. And I can clear it. And we're going to drop that level down while I'm using the microphone because it's quite loud. So now we have this. Let's take this and make a second clip. And hold. Copy, paste. Now we have 2 clips. And let's make a switch button here so that we can switch between them. Switch. And I'll stick with the same boring green color. Press. Select. Next clip. Okay, see what that works. Switch, 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 switch. Great. So in Loopy Pro, if we record 4 beats here, and eventually we'll have an overdub, and we wanted to overdub longer than 4 beats, we wouldn't be able to. That's why you have separate clips. So if I record 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G here, they will both play even though one's 4 and one's 8. So let's try that out real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Now I can switch to the other clip.
1, 2, 3,
and record and play there.
2, 3.
When it hits the top of the bar, it'll start.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
A, B, C, D,
1,
E,
2, 3, 4.
A, B, C, D. And you'll see that this playhead is moving faster than this one, roughly half the speed.
1, 2,
So now
3, 4.
we can stop this one
B, C, D,
if we like.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Right, we're back to 1, 2, 3, 4. We can switch back to 1, 2, 3, 4 and stop that. We could switch to A, B, C, D, E, F, G and just play that. A, B, C, D, E, F.
We could switch back to 1, 2, 3, 4 and clear it.
C, D, E,
and if we wanted to,
G,
record it again.
A, B, C, D, E,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
A,
6,
B,
7, 8.
C,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now they're both 8
6,
bars.
7, 8.
Not in good time,
1, 2,
but that's the
3,
point.
4, 5.
Now we can clear it.
C, D.
Clear it.
This part works. Our first button, which we haven't assigned to the button yet, but we have it on the screen. Now let's set up dubbing. And I'm pausing here in case I mess up so I can go back and stitch 2 videos together. So back into the edit mode. This one we will name dub. Give it a size. We'll make it lime. On press, we're going to choose record. If it has audio, overdub, which is already there, but we need to set the target, which again is going to be the selected clip. So now we can overdub a selected clip. That's cool. Now, what if we overdub something and we hate it? Loopy has the idea of undo and redo, but that's for the whole screen. Even when I'm editing, an undo will undo my edit. So I really just want to deal with the clip, not anything else that changed. Maybe I toggled drive, right? And if I hit undo up here, it's going to untoggle drive. Well, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to mess with the dubs. So let's create one called undo dub and OCD it to the right size. Set the color, press. This action is called peel. It's peel replace. We can replace the last dub, or we can replace the last 2 dubs, or we can replace the last 6 dubs. If there were 6, it would basically remove everything unless you had a 7th or 8th, then they would stay. But we just want to take off the last layer. And we're going to peel, and our target, if you didn't already guess, is the selected clip. So now we have an undo dub. Let's create a redo dub so we can put back that layer that we removed. And press. It's still going to be peel because peel was a peel replace layers. And this time we're going to use replace on the selected clip. So now we have the ability to, and I'm going to exit edit mode. We have the ability to record, to switch between the loops, to clear a loop, to stop a loop, to start it playing again, and now to dub over it, remove the dubs, and undo the dubs and redo the dubs. Excuse me. So let's do the same stupid 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3,
That's
4.
horrible timing,
1,
but that's
2,
okay. It doesn't
3,
matter.
4.
And
1,
let's
2,
switch
3,
and
4.
do an A, B, C, D, F, G.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A,
1,
B,
2,
C,
3,
D,
4.
E, F, G,
1, 2,
C,
3,
D,
4.
A,
1,
B,
2,
Now let's dub
3,
something over
4.
that. A,
1,
when it gets to the top.
3, 4.
A,
1,
yeah.
2, 3, 4.
A,
1,
yeah.
2, 3.
Let's switch back over here and dub something.
2, 3, 4.
A,
1,
yeah.
2, 3, 4.
A,
1,
yeah.
2,
What?
4.
A,
1,
yeah.
2,
What?
4.
So now we have this
A,
mess.
1,
Yeah.
2,
Let's switch
what?
back here and undo this
A,
stuff.
1,
Yeah.
2,
What?
It's gone automatically.
A,
1,
B,
2,
C. What?
3,
Redo, put it back.
A, 1,
Yeah.
2,
What?
4.
Now I can
A,
undo this
1,
one,
2,
switch to
what?
this one,
4.
A,
1,
undo
2,
that dub,
3, 4.
and we're back
A,
to
1,
our
2,
simple.
3, 4.
If I wanted to, I could redo that now, or I could just put back.
A, 1,
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
4.
A,
1,
yeah. If I
2,
undo in the middle of the
3,
word, it's gone.
A, 1, 2, 3,
See, it cut it right off. A, B, C, or I can redo that. A, B, C, D, right? A, B, C. So that's the idea of that. A, B, C, D. Let's stop it.
1, 2, 3,
Switch.
4.
And we could even
1,
clear it to stop it, right? It's just going right away. Switch, clear. So that is the entire recording, switching, clearing, dubbing, undoing dubs, and redoing dubs. The next thing we're going to do is set a stop, start, all over here, and a reset, which will basically clear everything. So let's do that now. Stop, start, all. Okay. On a press, play and stop. The target on this is not going to be selected clip. We're going to do specific color. We're going to say, hey, all of the clips that are lime, which they all will be. So that's what we're doing. And that should stop and start everything. Let's find out. We'll just create quick loops. 1, 1, 1, 1, A, 1, oops, 1, A, 1, A, 1, A, 1, A, that's groovy. A, stop, start all, A, 1, stops at the top, A, 1, A, 1, A, 1, A, 1. Stop and start all works. Now, let's leave that there so we can test our reset. This button, which will be hold on D, is reset. On a press, we want a clear clip, and our target, again, will be the specific color of lime, so it'll clear all the lime clips. Now, I'm going to exit edit mode. If we clear this right now, it's going to clear those two clips, but leave our selected clip here. And maybe if we were restarting and starting from scratch, we would want the selected clip to be this. So let's add that as another action on this. So we already have one. Let's add another called select specific clip, and let's choose clip 1. So now this press has two actions. And this one you'll see is after last. So it's going to clear it and then set it. Well, we can do it even quicker with last so that they just happen at the same time. You probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but on some actions this will matter. You can also set it up so that if you held it, it would clear, and if you held it a second time and the next trigger came through, it would set it back. But for us, we just want to be able to hold it, reset it, and everything goes back. When I say hold, I'm talking about the foot switch. In this case, we'll just be able to push the button on the screen. So out of exit mode, reset, it cleared everything and set us back to clip 1. Now, we are going to remove this button because we're not assigning anything there. You can always add a button there. It's a double tap on button D. So if there's something else you want to do, you have an open action. The next section is going to be controlling Spark Edge or Live with these 3 buttons. Again, this doesn't work on Spark or Spark 2, but if you already had a foot switch, but you didn't like the built-in looper, you could still use Control X or whatever other foot switch you're using to set presets and turn drive on and off, and then pick up the M-VAVE chocolate for, like I said, like $40, and use that to control your looping, which means that button C would do nothing. You could just delete those 4 buttons and 3 buttons, sorry, and it wouldn't matter. It would still work. You would just have 2 foot switches. You can also use the M-VAVE as Bluetooth, so you don't have to have a USB hub. You could use M-VAVE chocolate as Bluetooth and just hook up a USB cable between your iPad and your Spark or Spark 2. This is an option. Or you can use AirStep, which can control the Spark or Spark 2, as well as sending Bluetooth commands to your iPad. to control Loopy. So you could do it in one foot switch with an air step. So those are options. Let's go ahead and set this up, assuming you have a Spark Edge or Spark Live, and it has USB audio and data on the back, not just USB audio. Here's the pause where I'll cut the video if I screw up. Okay, so the first button we want, the big button, which is just a tap, probably just want to turn the drive on and off. That's something you'll often do, right? You lay down a rhythm track, you want to solo over it, you want to play now. So we'll make that drive. Set the size. Set the color. We could set it a different color. It doesn't have to be green, especially since it's controlling the spark. We'll make it blue. Why not? Now this one's a toggle because it's a turn on, turn off, which means when it sends MIDI, for on it's going to send 127, for off it's going to send 0. And the Spark will know what to do with that. So toggle, we're going to scroll all the way down to send MIDI message. The target is going to be Spark Edge USB Audio MIDI in. Right next to it we see Synco, which is actually the Footswitch, which I also have plugged in over USB. So we chose that. Now we need to know what kind of message it is. So we can go to Spark's website and know that if we want channel 1 effect slot 3, it's a control change because there's program changes and control changes. This one's a control change. They're all MIDI channel 1 for Spark. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, it's channel 1. So all we care is control change 2. So we're going to choose CC for control change. Channel 1's already there. And we're going to slide this over to 2. And we can send this message to check it. And trust me, my drive's going on and off. Back. And here we are. Now we can turn drive. Oops. Exit edit mode. We can turn drive on. We can turn drive off. There's actually a little hum coming through my headset when I turn it on. You might be able to pick that up. Okay, so that's that. Now let's set red 1 and red 2. Just to give you 2 presets that you can switch between, because you might just want to do that as part of your layering. So select 1, and we'll just call it red 1. Set the font size. Why not? Let's make it red. Now this is just a press, because it's just going to send a signal and change it. I'll scroll all the way down to MIDI action again. Send MIDI message. Target. Spark Edge. Message. Now we need to go back to the web page and figure out what we need to do to set red channel 1. So the very first one, channel 1, switch to red preset 1, is a program change, not a control change. MIDI channel 1, message 0. All right. So PC for program change. Channel 1's already there. 0, it's already there. So now we have a button for red 1. Let's make another one. And this could just as easily be green 4 or, whatever other preset you want to use. And we'll make it red again. Choose press. Scroll down. Send a MIDI message to the target, Spark Edge. Again, it's a program change. We know that. But let's find out what it is. Preset 2 is a program change. Channel 1 we know. Message 1. So, program change. Channel 1's already there. Move this over to 1. It's there. We can send it. And it switched to 2 on my amp. That's done. Now if we go back here, we can go to red 1. We can go to red 2. We can turn drive on. We can turn drive off. Now, it doesn't tell you which one you're on. It's just sending the command. And drive, even though it's toggle, on, off, you don't know, as we mentioned earlier, if it's on or off until you push this the first time. If you don't know if the drive's on or off, you can hit it twice and it will be off. Or just hit it once and I guarantee you it's on because it's sending a MIDI message of 127 when this lights, right? So if you just open this project and you don't know if your Spark drive is on or off for whatever preset you have chose, like Red 1, you don't know until you hit it. But if you hit it once, it's going to be on. And if you hit it twice, it's going to be off. So that's the basics. Now we're going to learn how to use the foot controller. And I'm going to pause this video and start another one to set that up. Okay, setting up the foot controller for a given project is pretty easy. So all we have to do is go into Edit, go into this little button in the lower right. It looks like a MIDI connector. When you click it, you're in MIDI Learn mode. So now, if I click my very first one, record, play, stop, it says it's listening for events. If I push button A once, CC20, Cinco. Now, if this says CC20 on Bluetooth foot CTLR, it means you still have your M-VAVE chocolate connected to Bluetooth on your iPad. If that's what you want, great. You can unplug this USB cable if you don't care about charging and just use Bluetooth. If you don't want Bluetooth, go into your Bluetooth settings on your laptop. Disconnect that device or forget it for that matter. You've already configured it in a very earlier step in this video, and it doesn't matter anymore. So if it says Bluetooth and you don't want that, delete it, go in, disconnect, from Bluetooth, and then come back in and learn it again. Learn. All right, so we have that. One click on A is set to where we want it. Now let's go to switch. We said that was going to be a double click. Double tap. Double tap, CC20, Cinco. Now let's click clear. So if we select clear, it's waiting. We're going to hold it. Hold, CC20. Now we're going to dub. Let's select dub, and that's a one click on B. Good. Undo dub's a double click. Now, it heard a one click instead of a double, so let's get rid of that. Learn. Still didn't pick it up. Learn. Learn. Let's try a quicker click. There. Click or click, double tap. So we got that. Let's do redo dub. That's a hold on B. Hold, and you see it's CC21. And these buttons are CC20, CC21, CC22, CC23. Okay, so you'll see as we're setting them, they're gray. So now let's set drive. One press on C. Got it. Now let's set red 1, which is double click. Got it. Red 2, hold. Got it. Start, stop all, press, and reset, which is a hold. Okay. Our foot switch, and you see these are gray because I didn't exit MIDI learn mode. So let's go back into the pencil, and hit our MIDI learn mode again. It's gone. Our settings are set. We have a complete project. Let's save it. We could have saved it all along and been able to go back in case we screwed up, but we'll click the folder, we'll click save, and I just saved it as Youthful Creature because it gives it a default name. Let's change that to Spark. Simple Looper. And save. So now we have it saved. And that is our entire setup of this template. However, if 2 isn't enough, I want more. Okay, no problem. Let's edit it. Let's select either clip 1 or clip 2 and copy it, and paste 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 it. You could have 100 of them on here if you wanted. Right? Now, we left off with this selected here. So let's reset. We're back to 1. We can now record all the way across. So let's do a quick record. Test, 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 right? And switch to the next test. Loop is double click, test. And it stopped it. Now, why? I can tell you, but let's swipe left to get back here, right? And play. Test. And double click. Test. It stopped this when I double clicked. The action worked, but it killed this. So, what's happening here, if we go into Edit, and we go back to MIDI Learn, is that the first click I'm pushing is causing the record play stop to trigger, even though I'm doing a double tap, and the double tap's also taking, and I'm getting clip 2. So let's go to Switch, and click on, I just clicked on double tap, not on the X, on double tap. And down here at the end, it says defer other actions. Make other on and off triggers wait to see if this one fires. Let's turn that on. And now let's turn off MIDI Learn mode. Let's clear our clip. Now, that's not the selected clip anymore, but I can click Switch until I get back to it and clear it. Clear is a hold down, so let's hold down on A and clear it. Okay, now you see it kind of went to play before it cleared, which is not what we want either. So we're going to have to set defer actions here too. Let's go ahead and do that before we test out these 3, and then we'll fix the rest of them. So back to MIDI Learn, clear, hold, defer other actions, turn off MIDI Learn, exit Edit. Now we're back. Now if I hold clear, nothing happened. But if I double click Switch, I will expect this not to record. It switched, it did not record. So let's go back to my example. Switch, switch, switch. We're back to the beginning. We're going to record test with 1 click. Test. Test. It's there. Test. Let's switch. Test. I switched to 2, test, and it didn't stop. Test. So we fixed our problem where it's hearing MIDI. Test. Test. And not picking up the play stop and the switch. Test. Right? So if I double click, double click, I'm back to the first one. If I hold down, it cleared. So we fixed those buttons. Let's fix the rest because we have some double click. And we don't care about the top ones. We only care about the bottom actions to make sure. I mean, a reset triggering a stop all doesn't really matter, but what if everything was stopped and you hit reset and it started all for a split second before it resetted? We don't want that. So let's go in and edit. MIDI Learn. Undo dub. Click right on it. Defer. Redo dub. Click right on it. Defer. Reset red. On it. Defer. Red 1. Right on it. Defer. And the last one, reset. On it. Defer. Turn off MIDI Learn. Now we're back to our project, and it is actually done, and it will be working now where we don't have double taps and holds triggering our single tap action. So we've done that. Let's save it. If I save it now, you'll see that I have 2 save points. The first time and the one that I just did. So we're good. I will upload this to the templates share on Google Drive that will be posted in the description. And I will likely add to the end of this a little sample of using it, maybe. Actually, nah, you've heard enough of my crappy playing. That's enough. I hope this was helpful. Because of the Spark Edge sending both channel 1 and channel 2 and 3 and 4 if you're using it to both 1 and 2 outputs, I will likely start using audio plugins like Digistix 2 or Tone Stack to control my tone via Loopy Pro and a Footswitch instead of using the Spark effects, as good as they may be, and just send my output to the Spark and have it just be a battery-powered PA. So I hope this was helpful. Mention any questions in the comments, and good luck.